Hi everybody, it's Robin with Uniquely Robins. We're going to do a series on trash to treasure, or refurbishing old things, something along that lines. I went to the thrift store this weekend. I got a few things that I want to redo to use in my craft room or just in my house. So this is one of the things that I got, which is this wooden box, and it's a nice little wooden box. Has a little latch closure on it. Now it did have, let me show you here real quick. It did have these up here and the little closures on them, but I don't think they originally came with the box because they're not the same color as the other stuff. So, and also, these were through there and it had these locks on it and they didn't have the key. So without cutting them off, which I don't have anything right now to cut those off with, I just took them off, especially because they don't really match the box. So I don't think they were originally there. So I cleaned the box really good. And I started with just putting some spackling in these little holes that those little nails made for the other latches. So I'm letting that finish drying. I think it's pretty dry, and I'm just going to go back over it. You can use sandpaper, but I'm just going to wipe it off with my rag because that's just fine. And I was debating on whether I wanted to, so that it should be pretty smooth now, because I want to paint this box. It's pretty the way it is, but it's kind of masculine looking, and I want to feminine it up a little bit and country it up, you know, country chic or whatever, shabby chic country or whatever they call that. That's what I want to do to it. Now also right down here, this piece was coming loose, and I do think I saved a couple, yes, of the little tiny nails that they used on these. So we're going to tack this back down, and do I have a hammer up here? Yes, I do. I thought I did. I'm really stretched to reach anything in here. I'm trying to redo my craft room, and it's a slow process. So I have stuff everywhere right now. So we're just gonna start. Sorry for the noise. Just putting them in the existing holes that were already there. Hold on to it with this because my hands are not the straightest, or the not straightest, are not the, they shake, put it that way. This wants to be stubborn. The other one went in just fine. Of course, could be the operator. There we go. Ah, it bent on me. That's the only problem with using the same nails that you took out of something, is sometimes they're of course, once you remove them, they're not as strong as they were when they were first put in. Let's see if I can get this to bend back over without breaking my pokey tool. Goodness me. It's coming. I don't want to do it real fast because I don't want to rip that piece of wood. I'm trying to take my time and do it slowly. In there. used the same hole, but for some reason this one wants to be stubborn and not go in there. There we go. All right, I got it out. I thought for sure I had another one. Excuse me. Of course, I could have lost it on the floor. They're so tiny.
This is when I wish my craft room floor was not carpeted.
That and every day when I have to sweep it when I'm done with my crafting, because every little piece of paper gets stuck down in the carpet. Okay, well, we're just going to leave the other one for now. And I'll keep looking, see if I can find it. I know there's at least one more of those little nails. And if not, I will find one somewhere. But at least it's on there now, because it's got one good nail in it. So now this piece here is leather. So we're going to try... I'm undecided if I'm going to leave it leather or not, or if I'm going to paint that. I'm going to try not to paint it, but against the paint that I picked out, it might be too dark. I'm thinking it's going to be. And I did try to clean that up. But maybe if I sand it down a little bit, I can get it to lighten up, because I think it has some kind of oils on it that makes it that dark. So I'm not sure what we're going to do with that yet. But anyway, we're going to decoupage this after we get it painted. Trying to reach my paint here. This, I think, is the paint I'm going to use. This is Valspar color sample. If you go to Home Depot or Lowe's and we were trying to figure out what kind of paint we want to use to paint our downstairs. So we got some of these little sample bottles or little sample tubs that they have. I think they're only like $2 or $3 for this little sample, and it's 8 ounces of paint in here. And this one was one of the ones that was too light, so we didn't use it. But they last a long time. I've used these on lots of different things, so they last a really long time, so they're good for your craft room. So that's a good tip. If you just want a little bit of paint, you can go out there and get, just tell them what color you want. And they, a lot of times, will have a sample of it for you to try. So for $2 or $3, I mean, and there's quite a bit in there. It lasts a long time, because it doesn't take a whole tremendous amount of paint as people think that it does. Okay, so I have a flathead screwdriver, but I don't have a, can't believe I don't have a, I don't think this one's gonna work. Nope, guess I wasn't very prepared today, was I? I'll have to get a Phillips head screwdriver to take. I am going to take this lock off. But we're going to decoupage it, and I think I'm going to decoupage it with some of the napkins that people have been sending me. Well, a couple people sent me out some napkins. And I'm pretty sure I have a few more than this. I kind of like this little red with the bird on it. I think that bird is just adorable, and the butterfly. Isn't that beautiful? But I'm not going to decoupage the whole thing. I'm just going to decoupage like some corners of it, like maybe that, on there, that kind of a thing. What else do we have here? Those are kind of beachy themed. This one's pretty with, well, they're all pretty, but for this, just some little pops of color here and there. That would be pretty, that purple. I mean, the beachy theme ones would be pretty on this box too, but I plan on using this in my dining room, and that wouldn't really go very well with my color scheme. There's some poppies. There's some more beachy wops. That would be pretty. I think I'm leaning more toward this one right now, or the purple. I have 2 of those. Let's leave those out. I'm going to look around too and see if I can find those other ones, because I'm pretty sure I have a few other ones. I know I have a couple that I ordered, which was when I saw this I had in mind. I have one that has an owl on it, and that's the one that kind of popped in my mind when I saw this. So I will keep looking and see if I can find those too, because we're not going to get to that step today anyway. So but the first thing I did was I gave it a good scrubbing, because that's the first thing you want to do when you bring anything into your house from somewhere else, is give it a good wipe down, good scrubbing inside and out. And it does have a pretty decent inside. I mean, it doesn't look, it's, you know, faded here and there, but it's not broken or cracked or anything like that. So I thought it was a pretty good deal. And I like the old hinges they have back here. Those are really cool. So, so yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And I'm debating, I wanna leave these, I may scuff these up and see what, let's do that now. I want to see what's, if I sand these, what color I'm going to get to. Of course, you should do this in an inconspicuous area, but I'm gonna paint them if nothing else, so. Yeah, it's just, it's not a pretty color under there. So what probably what we'll do, and I don't think I can get those off. So I'm gonna have to be very, very careful. If I could take them off, I would take them outside, these, and spray paint them. I think I'm going to paint them black, because the colors in my house are gray, black, white, and red. Burgundy kind of red. Those are the color scheme in my house. So I will probably end up painting these black. I'll just have to be very, very careful with a really thin paintbrush to do that. So I may just go ahead and paint over them the gray first when I'm painting the rest of the box. I won't worry about them so much, because you'll still be able to tell where they were. And then I can go back in and paint them black afterward. So, but that's what we're gonna do, is we're gonna start on this box. And I had debated on whether to take these leather pieces off so that I can get the paint underneath there and then reapply them. The only problem I have with that is I'm afraid that if I take them off, that it might crack or break or something. I don't know how sturdy that is. Let's try a little spot here and see what happens. If I can even get them to pull off, that would be another story. Yeah, see, I'm afraid pulling on is gonna rip them. That's my problem. Because they're kind of old and crusty. Well, it's coming. It is coming out. Feels like it's not gonna break. It's dirty under there. That's another good reason for taking it off. So we may just get disassembly done today and reassembly done another day. Okay. I got two off. Looks like they put them on before they stained it, or somebody stained it as an afterthought. Okay. Well, there's one. I try to keep them in order so I know where to go back on. But I think this will be better rather than, oh, see, I ripped that one. Dang it. That's what I did not want to do. Oh, now I gotta fix that. Actually, it goes right back on there very well. So I think maybe we won't take the rest of them off. I don't know. I don't want to tear it all up because I think the leather gives it some character. So I don't really want to rip them up. The first one came off okay, but Decisions. Do I want to keep trying to take it off? I don't think so, because if I tear it too bad, I'm gonna have to I could just replace it. Keep the studs, and I could replace it. I think I have an old belt that would probably work pretty good on there. If I just keep the little tacks. Keep the pieces as a guide to cut my other one. Decisions. That's the worst part about this, is you have to make so many decisions. But the one good thing is it is a thrift store find, so it's not like you paid hundreds of dollars for it, right? Alright, where's my flathead screwdriver? Maybe it's a good thing that is up here, because I think this will help loosen it. And I don't want to gouge up the wood while I'm doing this, so I'm trying to do it a gentle way to where I'm not going to tear up the wood. Because it's a decent wood, but it's not a real thick wood, so I don't want to gouge it up. There we go. It's coming. Look how dirty that is. Maybe it's a good thing I'm taking it off. Maybe we'll put a piece of lace on there instead of leather. Make it a little more feminine. Come on. That one popped up good. I hope this isn't boring you to death. Discard this anyway, but I am going to keep the tacks, because even if we use a lacy thing across there, I think the tacks would still look pretty with it. I like the hard and soft together, looks nice. Now there is a piece right here of this bamboo or wicker that's coming up, but once we paint it, you won't notice that as long as I don't pull on too much. Hey, there's a penny under there. Got a penny on my money back. That's pretty funny that there's a penny under there. It's heads up, so maybe it's good luck. I could use some of that. All right. I get this other side off. This is turned into demolition day. It seemed to work better when I started back here. Kind of underneath that tack. Trying to lift that up. Without gouging up the wood. Just a little at a time. You just gotta take your time, which sometimes I'm not real good at. Okay. Oh, that one came off easy. Most of the things that I got to redo at the thrift store were not going to be this in-depth and this time-consuming to do, but I thought this would be a good one to, I like to let you see the problems that you have with things so that you have some solutions, or if nothing else, you know that you're not alone. Everybody has trouble when they do stuff. They make it look so easy on videos, but in all reality, everybody has problems. Yeah, this is not real leather anyway. It looks like a purse strap or something on the back side. So, at least I don't feel as bad now that I ripped it. Okay, well, there's that piece. I'm glad I did take this off, because look how dirty that was underneath there. Look at my hands. Look at that. Deity, deity. Okay. Oh, this is the one I still haven't gotten out there yet. Get some leverage on it. Just rocking it back and forth. Just basically getting under it helps. Oops. There it went. First I thought my tack went flying, but it didn't. Phew. This thing is, scrubbed it, and it's still, now it's dusty and making my nose go crazy. You'll have that. Alright, I'm gonna lock this so it doesn't flop open on me. I need to get under here without tearing this wicker up. There we go. And last one. Just kind of rocking it back and forth and trying not to get under that wicker. There we go. Okay. All right, so those little tacks I am going to save. Get one of these. These are those little things my husband brings me home from work. They're so good for things. Holding little tiny things. He has a pouch on the front of his lunchbox that he keeps his extra can of snus in. And I always check it to make sure he didn't use his can of snus at work, so I can replace it with a new one if he did. And lots of times I find little goodies in there for me like that. Over the last week, he has brought me these all snapped together, so they're nice for storage, and to store those little tiny beads I showed you before that I use them for, like here, these little tiny sequensy like beads. They're perfect for that, and then you can put a different color in each one, and they snap together so you know where all your little beads are at. I did wash these, but I just fingerprinted them all up, and I gotta wash them again. But he brought me those, and he brought me these, which can hold a little bit bigger, but again, they still snap together. Some tool he uses in his has to replace so often in his machine. He's a CNC machinist. The little pieces parts come in these, and then they just throw them out, so he brings them home for me. Okay, we got that. This actually looks like it's a lot lighter wood, but we could just sand it down and stain it, but we're gonna paint it. We're gonna paint it. All right, let me get this stuff out of my way. I'm going to get this glass mat that I usually paint on, because it wipes off really easy. So we're just gonna do one section at a time, I think. So I can keep moving my mat. One of the other things that I got that we're gonna paint, we'll probably paint this white, is this little, let me move him out for a minute. This little rocking chair. Isn't this adorable? And he's even got the little butt print in there. It is so cute. I have a little wicker chair that I painted white, and I have a little basket of flowers sitting on it down in my dining room with my 3-tiered tray that I made for it. And we're gonna make one of those 2 3-tiered trays. I bought some stuff. I'm gonna make my daughter one. I will take you along. They're not hard to make, and they're really cool, and they make really cute little vignettes on your table or your kitchen counter. I have one on my kitchen counter. I have one in my dining room on my building that my husband built for me. But yeah, isn't this adorable? So we're gonna paint this up, and I'm probably gonna set this on the other side. So, okay. Let's start painting and see what we get. I'm gonna actually start on the top because I want to see how it does on this wicker before I commit completely to what I'm doing here. I'm shaking my paint. I'm looking in my drawer for my paintbrush. That's not the one I want to use. There we go. This is the one I want to use. Okay. I'm gonna make sure there's no dust on here first, because we don't want dust in our paint. And we'll see what happens. I have like 3 different colors of gray, and I just think this, I think this is the lightest gray that I have. Popsicle stick here and stir him up. Definitely want to move my napkins clear out the way because I don't want to paint on those. Set this over here on this. All right. Here we go. Now you want thin layers of paint. You don't want to glop it on really thick. And see, I'm painting over this, but I can still see the outline, so I can go back in with my black brush and it'll just be like a primer coat for those. Not worried about it. And of course, if I was doing this for a customer, you know, I would do it a little better, but it's just for me, so. And I want it to still retain a little of that rustic look. So I don't want it to be perfect. So we'll distress this too. But I just want it to be not so harsh a color. And after your first coat dries, you might see see where these little holes are, because I didn't fill those in. I should have. But I will fill them in before I do my next coat, for sure. I didn't even think about it that I just took that band off of there. I filled the other 2 holes in. I will probably wax this when I'm done. I have some clear wax, but actually I would like to try to get some of that antiquing wax before I get that far. Now this is that spot. Remember I told you that wicker was peeling up just a little bit right there. So we're gonna make sure he's laying the right direction. And the paint will help him stick down. Trying to get in those little crevices. It has been so hot here lately, so hot and humid. Oh my goodness. Humidity is never good for painting, but you can do it. I mean, I wouldn't paint outside my house when it's that humid, but now if this was just plain wood inside here, I probably would have sanded this piece all down, but and if I was doing it for a customer, I would definitely have sanded it all down. But I'm trying to do these on stuff that I already have. I'm sure somewhere in the garage we have some sandpaper, but I couldn't find it, so. And I'm debating, you guys let me know what you think. I'm debating on doing these little square inserts a different color. Like maybe a darker gray. So let me know what you think. Should I paint it all one color, or should I do the middle little square sections a different color? Not a different color, but a different shade. Just trying to get under that wicker a little bit. Push the paint under there to make sure it's covering well. Of course, until it's dry, I won't know for sure, but okay. Well, that's that side. Now let's work on this side. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Of course, you're probably getting bored watching me paint. But I really like to do my videos, craft videos that I do kind of start to finish. This is missing one of those little brads here, and I think I'm going to take one and replace it real fast here before oh, that went in way too easy. We're going to take a little bit of this Gorilla Glue. Maybe if I can get it open, that is. Is it just me, or does everybody have trouble getting their glues open? My husband asked me the other day if I had his wrench, because that's usually what I use to open these with. I had it up here. And I said, well, I do somewhere, because I know I had it up here. I can't get this open. Ah, there goes. My fingers just are not the greatest. I'm sticking it in the tube of glue and just getting a little bead of glue on it. And then I'm going to stick it back in the hole. And we'll let that dry. And then I'll paint over that. I'll just leave that part till last, or tomorrow, because it might take a while for that to dry. I'm not sure how long it takes for that glue to dry. I've heard it's really good though, so I've had it for a while. I just don't think I've ever really used it much. Now, one little hint thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a piece of this leather. I'm going to open this and I'm going to pop it in here just to raise the, maybe if I can get it in there. There. Just to raise the lid up, so I don't want to paint my lid closed. This is lighter than I thought it was, actually. Gotta remember for sure. So we'll see when it dries if it's still this light. We might want to use a darker color, but I don't know, I kind of like it. It's not white, which my husband always says you paint everything white. He doesn't really care though. One thing I'd like to paint white that I haven't yet is his end tables, because they're They really don't match the rest of my house, the rest of our house, but he had them when we got married, and I think his aunt gave them to him or something, so I haven't touched them. My daughter asked him one time, why does Mom paint everything white? And he told her, I don't know, but she hasn't attacked my end tables yet, thank goodness. So I figured I'll hold off for a while. He wouldn't care if I did paint them. He says that, but he really wouldn't care. Okay. All right, on to the back. I had thought about getting some of those rub-on transfers to use on this piece. But for one, like I said, I was trying not to buy anything new right now. I love them. I think they're gorgeous. But, and with this not really having, I just can't see spending that much money right now. Because they're like $30. I mean, you get like 4 sheets, I think. And they're gorgeous, but this really doesn't have enough flat spots for that. So that's why I thought the decoupage would be better, because, you know, I know you can use those on things that aren't flat, because they will work around things. But I just think that the decoupage and the napkins on there would be better. And I'll tell you right now, I've done a lot of painting, and I am not the neatest painter. I get mess everywhere. Not on the piece, but I get paint all over me. I painted the walls downstairs, but I told my husband he has to paint the ceilings, because when I use a roller like that above my head, I get paint in my hair, all over the floor. And we have hardwood floor, so I was real careful when I did the walls. But I'm a lot shorter than he is. It's harder for me to do over my head stuff. Well, of course, I'm sure it's hard for anybody to paint a ceiling. You know, holding a roller over your head that long is really hard on you. Makes your arms sore. I'll do the walls. Got the dining room painted. Actually, when we bought this house, when we first moved in, we picked paint that they were going to use to paint it with, and we picked a gray color, you know, like not a real dark, but not a real light gray color, and gave him the thing of what it was, what brand it was, and he bought a different brand. So if you go to buy paint and you buy a different brand than what the sample that you looked at, it will not be the same. Even if they use the same codes and stuff, it'll be a different color. And it was kind of, my husband sent me a picture of it. I was at work the day they were painting, and he'd got off work and come by to check on progress on the house. And he sent me a picture of it, and he goes, does this look gray to you? And I said, no, it does not. That is not the color we picked. And so he got to talking to the guy, and he said, well, he bought that color and had him use that code, but it was a different brand. I guess because it was cheaper. But they had already had half the house painted by then, so what could you do? Well, my husband said, so what could you do? I said, I would have made him repaint it, because that's not what we picked. But he didn't, so we just got the painting. Did it ourselves after the fact. They took a lot of shortcuts on a lot of different stuff that we had to fix, so. But there you'll have that. He called me, the guy who was selling the house to us called me and said, something about the railing on the front porch. They were getting ready to paint the railing on the front porch. And I said, oh, okay. What color are you painting it? And he said, white. And after the fiasco with the walls, that's why I asked what color they were painting it. He said, they're wrought iron railings around the house. And he said they were painting it white. And I said, no, 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 no. You can't put a white railing, wrought iron railing, on a white house. You'll lose it. And I said, I want it black. So he ran out there and yelled at the guy real quick and said, no, 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 she wants them black, so go get black. And they did do it black. But I don't think he'd gotten very far. But I'm glad I asked him because, you know, we have no shutters on our house. But I think a white railing would just be lost in a white house. You wouldn't never even see it. I'm not doing really around that real well because I'm going to take that off and paint under it. I just got to get my, I don't want to make you guys wait while I go get my screwdriver. Which I'm surprised I don't have one up here. I have one in my purse. Tape measure in my purse. I got a screwdriver, flathead, and a Phillips. Actually, I got a little screwdriver set. It's got all kinds of different ends on it. I used to do home health, and you never knew when you had to fix something for somebody, so I had lots of stuff in my purse. I do good on that, what's that show? Price is Right? No. Yeah. Where they come around and, is it Price is Right? Or they come around and ask you if you have a certain thing in your purse. I'd probably be good at that because I have a little bit of everything in my purse. Took my grandson when I had him the last time. It was the weekend that Steve had his golf outing, so he wasn't here. It was just my grandson and I for the weekend, which was great. We went to Young's Dairy out here and played putt-putt golf. And he said, here, Grandma, I'll carry your purse for you so you don't have to. Which was really sweet of him. He carried it around the golf course. He told me when we got back in the car, I don't know how you carry this thing at all. It's so heavy. It is heavy. I told him, I said, well, you should have told me. I would have carried it. He said, no, I didn't mind carrying it for you. It's just, it's so heavy. He's 8. Wait till he's 12. He's not going to carry Grandma's purse. Okay. This is actually drying fairly quick, so by the time I get Claire done, won't take long before we can put another coat on. I'm trying to figure out how to get this corner over here without getting all over my desk because I have my mat isn't big enough. Where my other mat went. Of course, like I said, my craft room is in kind of shambles right now because a piece of paper. I'll put that under there. I just need that corner. I have to wait for it to dry to do the bottom. But it looks so much different already, doesn't it? I think I need to put my, oh yeah, I think 2 coats is gonna be enough for it, I think. So I will get this finished painting. And like I said, let me know if you think I should do the middle parts a little darker than the rest of it and make it pop out a little bit, or what you think in the comments below. Make sure you leave me a comment down there, and we will go from there. I just wanted to take a minute too to let everybody know that I really, really appreciate your support on my channel, and I appreciate you watching my videos, whether you've been here since the very beginning or if you're new to the channel. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you sharing my channel with other people and getting them to subscribe as well. Through this time that I'm going through right now, I really appreciate the support so much. You would not imagine how much. You just don't know how much I appreciate you guys being out there and following me in this journey that I'm going on. So we're gonna kick it. We're gonna be good. So everybody have a great day. Hope you're not getting too hot out there. Smell flower today. Take time to just sit and relax and do a little you time. Do some you time. Love y'all. Bye-bye.